Hi WH Smith customers, I'm Robin Stevens, the author of the Murder Most Unladylike mysteries, and my new book, A Spoonful of Murder, is out now. It stars my two detectives, Daisy Wells and Hazel Wong, and it is set in Hong Kong, the place where Hazel was born and brought up. This book is very special for me because it features a murder in which my detective Hazel is not just trying to solve the crime, she is a suspect in it. So she has to not just work out who committed the crime, but clear her own name in the process. I'm so proud of this book and I really hope you enjoy it. Here's a quick reading from the first chapter of A Spoonful of Murder. Somehow, even though Daisy and I had seen the body with our own eyes, I did not quite believe that the crime was real until we came back home from the doctor's this afternoon. Before that moment, it all just seemed like a bad dream, the very worst sort, like the one I have sometimes when we're investigating a case, and I realise, like a slow shiver going up the back of my neck, that the murderer is after Daisy, and there is nothing I can do about it. But unlike those dreams, this time I cannot wake up, no matter how hard I pinch myself. And I know that I ought to have been able to stop what happened. Daisy says that's nonsense. She says, wrinkling her nose, that I could not have stopped anything. And in fact, if I had been on the spot, I might have ended up murdered too. Like much of what Daisy says, this is true, though not particularly comforting. But all the same, I cannot shake the feeling that I have failed. You see, I have come back to Hong Kong. Here it is beautiful and bright, the air is warm and heavy, and I am at home. No one looks at me oddly. I'm not strange, and that is a wonderful feeling, like opening up your hand and realising that you've been clenching the muscles of it for far too long. But all the same, some things have changed in uncomfortable ways. I have been in England for almost 2 years, and while I was there, I learnt how to be not only an English schoolgirl and a best friend, but also a detective. That is what the friendship between Daisy and me is all about, after all. We are secretly detectives, and we have solved 5 murder cases so far. And although it is not exactly true to say that we helped the victims, we did at least find out the truth about their deaths when the police could not. But in Hong Kong, I am with my family, who remember me as the smaller, younger Hazel I was when I stepped onto the boat to go to Deepdene. It's harder to be brave and grown up and sensible when all I'm expected to be is dutiful, a good daughter, and a good older sister. It's particularly hard to be the second but I am getting ahead of myself. Daisy says to tell things in order as much as possible, and she is right. At least I have not forgotten how to lay out a case in a new notebook, the one Daisy gave me for Christmas. All I will say, before I go back to the moment when everything started, this journey, this crime, is that a terrible thing has happened, a thing that the Detective Society must investigate. And we will. But this time I am stuck in the very middle of the case. I am not just a detective, I'm a witness. And I think that I might even be a suspect.